Well, I did it. Turn on Magenta in Office.
Okay.
Hey, it worked. As you might have caught on there, more and more of the smart home stuff has been kind of integrating its way into my everyday life, into the way that I do things. So when Apple announced the HomePod, I was kind of mixed opinion about it. Of course, I've got lots and lots of the Amazon Echo devices. I've got most of the Google Home devices, including the Google Home Max, which my experience with it and the smart home stuff has not been that great, just because the Echo devices tend to handle the grouping of things a little better, just in my experience. So again, when Apple announced the HomePod, I thought about it, I went back and forth on it, and I am actually not a great fit for the HomePod, but I thought I would go ahead and try it anyway. So that's what I'm here with today. Now you might be asking yourself, Jordan, why would you spend $350 US for something that, as you said yourself, you are not a great fit for? To be entirely honest, because I can afford to, because I was curious, and really, from the videos I've watched about this so far, the smart home stuff is actually a little faster, a little better, and potentially a little bit more flexible than the Amazon Echo and the Google Home combined. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm gonna find out. And apologies in advance for any background noise. I've got a 2-year-old in the next room who is shooting basketball and watching Teletubbies and loving every second of it, so he may actually pop in here at any time too. But without any further ado, let's open this thing up and take a look at it. And I will say, going into this, I do realize that this is kind of a half-baked product. This is not yet complete. There are a few things that HomePod is going to be able to do once they release AirPlay 2 sometime later in 2018. They currently can't be paired up in sets of 2 for stereo pairing and various and sundry other things, but let's just go ahead and get it open. There are 2 colors of this available, as you can obviously probably already see. I purchased the space gray one because I've heard lots of bad things about the white one, that it stains very easily. One thing I wasn't really sure about when I saw this on other videos, this is fabric all around the outside, and it's kind of a soft, pliable fabric. The cable itself is braided fabric, so it is very nice to add to a home aesthetic, as it were. It's not all plasticky, shiny, glossy like the top of this is. There is some soft hominess to it. Of course, it also comes with this little packet of paperwork designed by Apple in California, all the HomePod related materials, info, and a little sticker, if that's your thing. I don't really do stickers, so we'll put it back in the box. And here comes the fun part. I've heard mixed opinions, horror stories, if you will, about the initial setup of the HomePod. Immediately, you've got this little spinning light here on top. And again, I'm coming, wow. That was resonating. But again, I am coming from this from kind of a bad place because I'm not an Apple Music user. So I use Google Play Music, I use Spotify a little bit, but as you may see here, on my iPhone, it popped up. It said HomePod set up. So we'll go ahead and hit that button. I'm gonna say that it's in my office, but you do have all kinds of options in here. So office, and this is kind of what, oh, no, I'm surprised. I've heard a lot of horror stories about setting this up, that people would get that white screen right after that and then nothing. It says HomePod with Apple Music. I'm gonna say not now, and I'll come back to it later. Personal requests, do you want it to be able to send and read messages, add reminders, create notes, and more? I'm gonna say yes, even though that's a bad idea, because they've figured out how to make Siri not respond to other people, but they haven't figured out how to make the HomePod not respond to other people yet. I'll agree to all the terms and conditions and transfer settings for my other devices, and there you go. It is setting up, and there we go.
Hi,
it is set up.
I'm Siri. Welcome to HomePod. You can't tell, but I'm waving. To get my attention,
And I'm gonna blur out any time that I say that. What can you do?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather.
Play some music.
Playing all songs, shuffled. Remember, anytime you have a question, just say,
And it's playing from my Apple Music library. I don't actually have Apple Music. When you tap on the middle here, it starts and stops playback. It has a plus and a minus that's capacitive touch, so you can make it louder or quieter. You've also got some suggestions for telling it to turn on the lights, telling you the news, telling you a forecast, playing some music. We'll hit done. And things are kind of going crazy here in the house. There's a lot going on. So I'm gonna take some time, get used to using it, and then just give you some demonstrations of it and stuff later on this evening. Nope, didn't get to film anything else last night. That's okay, we're back at it today. And I've taken some time in the last 12 to 14 hours to sort of get to know this. And I have a very mixed opinion so far. First off, as I was saying earlier, I tried to do this as a complete non-Apple Music user. I've purchased maybe 2 or 3 songs on Apple Music over the years, on iTunes, whatever they used to call it. But I've never actually been a subscriber of their service, so I was very easily able to access the songs I already had. A couple of songs by a band called Hey Hi Hello that I bought like 5 years ago. But I'll just say it, I was not familiar enough with it to figure out if there was a way to actually take my local saved songs, put them into iTunes, and sync them up in such a way that I'd be able to play them on this. I could definitely AirPlay things from my phone over to it, but that's kind of a mixed bag because the whole point of it is to have a speaker that you can just ask to play music. So I mean, obviously, yes, this works great as an AirPlay receiver to be able to play something and have the audio from it coming out. It's great. But inevitably, I did end up signing up for their 3-month Apple Music trial, which means that I can do things like this. Play music by Lakey Inspired. I will put links to this down below.
Lakey Inspired, picked just for you.
I like his stuff a lot, and he doesn't mind if people use it in their videos, so very cool stuff. And this has amazing sound quality. It's great. You turn it up all the way, you can hear it in several rooms of the house. You probably can't hear me right now, it's so loud. And when you're ready to stop it, you just tap the button on the top. If you want to talk to the assistant, you can actually just hold the button. Turn on dimmed in office.
Okay, your scene is set.
The scene just changed there. I spent some time playing with the scenes in HomeKit because I hadn't done that in a while, so now I can say, turn on the filming scene.
Filming. You got it.
Yeah, and this is just the normal layout I would use for my lights. And I did find a way to actually import into HomeKit some of the scenes from Philips Hue. Basically just set the scene for all the lights and then create a new scene in HomeKit, and it will just take the existing, whatever the lights are set to, and that's awesome. That said, the way that you communicate with it, in my previous experience, talking to the Amazon Echo devices is a little bit more natural. Talking to the Google Home devices is still a little bit more limited than this. I've just not had good luck. Maybe I've missed something with Google Home devices, but I haven't found a way to set scenes properly. Working with HomeKit though, I can say turn on certain things, turn off other things, set things to certain colors. I could mix together different things, like I could have the lights all turn on and a plug turn on or off. The lights come to certain colors, certain lights do different. It's definitely very flexible as long as you know the exact right trigger words to make things happen the right way. So in terms of being a smart assistant, sort of. Asking questions and whatnot, it doesn't know the answers to absolutely everything you can think of. Let's just try something. Who is this?
You're listening to In My Dreams by Lakey Inspired.
I like that it knows that. How tall is he?
I can't get the answer to that on HomePod.
What album is this?
Currently playing the album In My Dreams single by Lakey Inspired.
Whereas with other devices like the Google Home, I'm actually able to play music. I can say, who is this? I can say, how tall is he? And it's contextually aware of a lot of things that this seems to not be. Yeah, so minor update with that. I was just trying it on the wrong song, apparently. Play Congratulations by Post Malone.
Okay, playing Congratulations, featuring Quavo by Post Malone.
Who is this?
This is Congratulations, featuring Quavo by Post Malone.
How old is he?
Post Malone is 22.
How tall is he?
I can't get the answer to that on HomePod.
Where's he from?
Post Malone was born in Syracuse, New York.
So it does seem to be sort of hit or miss. But it's all software, means that it can get better and grow and change over time. So the initial thought of it, I'm not all that blown away. I really like the sound quality. I like how it kind of fills the room and it's very bassy and very nice. Comparing it to the Google Home Max, which is about the next best thing that I can think of, and it's actually a lot more expensive than this. The Home Max does have a 3.5mm jack, but that 3.5mm jack is kind of busted. It works, it's just significantly delayed. Compared to any of the Echo devices, this definitely is miles and miles far and away better, just in my opinion. But if I'm searching for something, I would still much rather use Google Home or the Amazon Echo devices as opposed to Siri. Also, and I must say it, the matte finish on the outside, this is great, but that glossy finish on the top, that's a fingerprint magnet. I mean, you can see all the reflections in it, but you can probably also kind of make out some of my fingerprints on the top. Prepare to be using a cleaning cloth on it pretty frequently, unless you're just going to use your voice to control it 100% of the time. And I think I forgot to mention earlier the things that it cannot do yet that it's supposed to be able to do. I was really distracted with the 2-year-old yesterday. I did say that it couldn't play in stereo yet. The Google Home Max is able to play in stereo, meaning you can buy two and pair them up. With AirPlay 2 that's coming later this year, you will supposedly be able to put them in a stereo pair. Additionally, you'll be able to sync them up across rooms, whereas the Amazon Echo and the Google Home devices can already do that, and both do that just so really amazingly well. So again, Apple's just very, very early in their smart home stages. Their smart assistant has never been all that great, but it can get better over time. I'm gonna probably say don't go investing $350 in this just yet. I am, however, going to hold on to it to see how it gets updated over time, if it gets any better, what AirPlay 2 is like when they do finally roll that out later this year. I'm sure there'll be newer devices, newer phones and tablets and stuff to deal with it as well. But just very early, very initial impressions. This thing is rock solid, heavy, built like a tank. There's an iFixit teardown if you have not seen it already. They just absolutely demolish this thing to try to get at the guts of it. And the repair price on it, if you do happen to damage it, is like $280. So AppleCare is probably a friend. I am also kind of bummed that this cord is not removable. Normally you'd do something like that if it were going to be water resistant, and it's not. It's removable if you pull hard enough. I saw a video on that as well, but I'm not going to be doing that. But either way, my initial thoughts, initial impressions, great sound quality. It does work with Siri pretty well, but they've got a little ways to go. So do with those thoughts what you will. I just wanted to see the entirety of the spectrum because I've done lots of the Amazon Echoes, I've done lots of Google Home. It was time for Apple. If there's any other smart home things you'd like to see me check out, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. I'm always open to the idea of trying new smart home tech. But thank you guys, as always, for watching. Let's go ahead and play some music on the way out. Thanks again to Lakey for this music. It's great stuff. Hit the thumbs up button though if you liked the video, and subscribe to the channel to get notified when new videos do become available. I'll see you again next time.